I know what you guys are thinking. Man, the WAGMI team just doesn't miss. That video was fire! 2 in a row, 10 more to go. WAGMI summer is heating up by the day. It's been so incredible to work with GadgetBot on these character reveals. Seeing them transform over the last 2.5 months has been absolutely incredible. And just like in the first video with Emperor Tamilicus, we're going to do that again today. I'm going to show you Leviathan's humble beginnings and the process to get him to where he is now. So let's jump right in. And guys, of course, if you want to make sure you don't miss any future content, make sure you subscribe, click that notification bell, and like the video. So Leviathan, always kind of pulled my attention because he's in like a white and purplish power suit, and to me, he kind of reminded me of a Power Ranger, all right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Power Rangers were badass. I had all the toys. In fact, I still have all of the Megazords in their boxes in my garage. I've held on to all that stuff. As you guys know, I'm a huge collector. But with Leviathan, we thought it was really important to really bring forth his backstory and the fact that he uses nanotechnology. For those of you who have been to our website, wagmigame.io, of course you can go there now and you can read all the character bios. General Leviathan is a brilliant tactician who leads the WAGMI army in building some of the most deadly and futuristic armaments that defend the Earth. He's the son of Finric, the scientist who made major advancements in NiFe technology. He's equipped with a hyper-advanced nanosuit, which he uses to build battle armaments at a moment's notice. And this right here, this is what gets me the most excited about Leviathan, because in the game right now, right, for those of you who have been playing WAGMI Defense and seen our beta, I mean, this image of Leviathan is over a year old at this point, and he's known for having this massive purple sword. And he's still gonna have swords, but we thought if he's using nanotechnology to just basically create armaments whenever he wants to, the sword is more of like his weapon of choice, but there's other things that he can create and will create as the game progresses. More on that in a future video, okay? So let's go right back to the beginning and show you the first rendition of Leviathan and how he evolved over the last 2.5 months with GadgetBot, one of the world's top AAA graphic design studios in the world. So let's scroll down right here, and I got to admit, when we first saw the design of Leviathan, we were like, no, he does not look cool. But some of the elements that were here that stood out obviously was the purple. He has his hooded cloak, which I did think was cool. He has a backpack, probably holding some of the nanobots, and then he has these things coming out of his hands, which I at first was more of like an Iron Man blaster type thing, but in fact those were just the idea for the nanobots kind of forming his swords, because he has swords. You guys saw it in the original photo. So at first I wasn't really feeling this character. In fact, I think it was between him and Figu that I liked the least out of every single character. But then obviously it was time for the evolution. So, and speaking of evolutions, this is the earliest known photo of Leviathan that I was able to find. In fact, he's not even purple or white. In fact, he's completely opposite. He's black and yellow here. Looks more like Yellow Jacket from the Ant-Man movie. And then from here, Mad Sketch, who did our OpenSea collection, came up with this design, and then from this design, obviously, for those of you on the OpenSea collection for our Genesis NFTs, you see all the different variants for him. But lo and behold, once all the dust had settled, this was the Leviathan that we landed on. So purplish white in a power suit. You can see the NiFe kind of shining through the suit. There's a W on the chest. A lot of the characters did have W's. And this one we saw earlier too, him holding his sword, which he uses in the game. This is on the NFTs currently in the game if you've been playing the beta. And then there was one video we did have created of Leviathan fighting Archon, which came out really cool and just showcases his battle ability. In fact, you see a little bit of Leviathan's battle ability in our full cinematic trailer as well. If you haven't seen it, it's on our website, but I actually really like this video. I think Archon is one of my favorite villain character designs. I actually want to put that spin move in the game in the future from Archon, but we're talking about Leviathan right now, so let's keep it at that. Here's some early gameplay. Wow, it's been a while since I watched this video. So as you can see, you know, it's if you didn't know his backstory, you would just think he's a dude in a power suit with a sword, right? And so GadgetBot's like, listen, we need to bring that backstory to life and focus on that nano suit that he uses to build ornaments at a moment's notice. And so this was sketch 1. So round 1 was that first photo I showed you, and then this was like the first sketch after they got a little bit of feedback. And as you can see, they kind of went with like that, you know, cloak and dagger look for him. And it was a difference between like having the honeycombs on the armor on the left and those honeycomb accents on his helmet, or being a more of like a stealthy character where there's not as much brightness going on, and his helmet obviously isn't as bright either. But we actually liked a few different things from A and B. On A, we loved the honeycombs, we loved the helmet. And on B, we really liked the look of like his pants and his shoes. And so as we moved into the next variant, you saw a little bit of that kind of put together. So he has the cloak, he has the shoes, and for his helmet, they wanted to try something different. So they didn't give us that purple honeycomb for the helmet that we really liked. They want to try something a little different with the small color in the middle here, which I think does look cool. I think this would look great for a future variant helmet for him, but to really make that splash, we're like, no, we got to go with like a variant of that purple helmet, because it just pops, right? I mean, you guys all saw the video before my video started. It just makes the character. And also, you're starting to see the nanotechnology come to life here. You can see that his cape is actually nanobots. That's why it's pixelated down here. He has one sword in his hand, and you can see the nanobots bringing it to life over here, and then the other sword basically forming as his hand is out. But the question now becomes, like, where are these nanobots coming from? It looks like they're just kind of appearing out of nowhere. And so that problem wasn't solved in sketch of round 3, but the problem that was solved was the helmet. And if you go through the variants, I think what they landed on was really cool. I think with the purple just in the middle, it made the helmet kind of like more bulky, right? Whereas with the whole middle helmet being the honeycomb, it just makes that area pop. It doesn't draw your eye so much to what's going around his ears in the back of his head. But everything was punched in a little more, but the main thing that was focused on right here, as you can see, the shoes changed a little bit. They looked kind of more like sneakers. I actually was joking with the team. I'm like, is this man rocking Jordans? Like, what's going on here? But, you know, we started to move forward, change the helmet, change the sneakers up a little bit. And then as we got into round 4, that's when things really started to come together. I mean, you guys can see the major differences happening here with his chest piece. His hands right now also have more purple in them here. You can see that. His helmet got a little more detail. They kind of took that bar that's going around his head and made it a bit thinner. And then the Jordans got turned more into like, you know, boots that go up his legs and into his knee guards right there. And then we kind of changed up the way the buckles were flowing. And again, right, the cape is all nanobots, so it's all particles everywhere. And then as we go into another sketch for round 4, you can see now it makes sense where those nanobots are coming from. They're actually coming from his hand right here, which I thought was a really cool design. And what you can see what they did is they put the different variants in the background to make it really easy for us to go back and forth and see what we liked, what we didn't like. And his chest piece started to change a bit more too. That was getting fine-tuned. And you can also see his backpack also was added. It's a bit more bulky. And that honeycomb feature he has on his helmet, on his hands, on his armor is now also in the backpack too, letting you know that's where the nanobots are coming from. And the shoes have started to really come together too. I like characters that have these types of straps going up and down their legs, you know, holding everything together. I think it's a really great design. The buckles on even the little things like the buckles they used for his cloak, I think look really cool. It's not just like a random square buckle. It has its own design to it. And then as we moved into the final renditions, this is what we've got, right? And to go from here to here and really punch it in. I mean, look at the detail on this helmet right here, guys, right? I'm going to zoom in here too, and then I'm going to go back and forth a few times. Just look how much, as soon as GadgetBot gets in there and does what they do best, they brought that honeycomb purple to life so well on this final version. It's just absolutely amazing. I mean, even look at the tubes going up his torso and into his shoulder, which connects to his backpack. All that brought to life. You can see the suit is illuminated. And if you pay real close attention, up here on the left, we liked the honeycomb on the suit itself. It wasn't really brought in right here. But go on the final variation, you can see the honeycomb is in the suit. It's actually in his hands, and you can visually see exactly where all the nanobots are coming out of. And again, like the shoes still kind of look a little like Jordans, but you know, these are some pretty badass Jordans that I'll let fly for now. It just came together so well. This guy looks so stealthy, and then the sword in his right hand that is fully formed. Like, it just looks badass. So now, when this character is on the playing field, he can create any weapons he wants. And it's going to be really awesome in the future to bring more weapons to life for you guys to have different variants of these characters. Maybe in this form, he's a close range fighter. Maybe in another form, he brings together guns, right? Or a cannon or something like that. And he's a mid-range to long-range fighter. There's so much that we can do with Leviathan. I'm just so excited that GadgetBot was able to bring every single element to life. And look, he even still has the W here on his chest. So guys, that's Leviathan, man. He has been brought to life. And he is character reveal number 2 out of 12. So if you want to make sure you don't miss the next one, subscribe and we'll see you next time.